What's up? Welcome to the Hey You Got a Minute podcast. Joining me today is Kim Groff from BarterPay Saskatoon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming in, Connor.
Really appreciate it. I'm really excited to learn about this BarterPay business that you are a part of. And when I first heard about BarterPay, wasn't 100% sure about it. Wasn't really sure what you guys did, but again, after reading a little bit and what you'll talk about, really excited to learn about it.
Awesome. Well, we always like to say that barter is the oldest way to do a business, but we put a new slant to it, so it's the newest way of doing business too. So what we are is we're an organized business-to-business barter system. So what we do is we help our member businesses barter and trade their products and services for things that they would normally go out and spend cash on.
So looking at BarterPay Saskatoon, I guess we'll look specifically at Saskatoon for now, but how does it work? How does someone else get involved? Kind of building on that, just kind of give me some information on that.
So we're a membership organization, so businesses become a member of the BarterPay system, and how we do that, a few different ways. Like right now, probably half of our new members come to us via recommendations from existing members, and so they'll say, hey, contact my friend so-and-so, they own a restaurant, and I think this would be a good fit for them. So that's the way we do it, get a lot of our new members. And then also, we will solicit the marketplace too. So if we have a demand for a specific product or service in the network, we'll go out there and solicit the local business community and try and fill that gap too. So those are kind of the two ways that we generate most of our new clients.
Okay, and BarterPay Saskatoon, you were saying, has 230 clients, about that.
Yeah.
What are kind of the services that are provided in the Saskatoon area?
There's kind of three, I'll call them, demographics or areas of business that we concentrate on. First would be service-related businesses. Your plumbers, electricians, automotive repairs, things like that, where they're booking time in a calendar, right? And so what we'll do is most of those type of businesses may have some open time in their calendar, and we will try and fill that for them. A second type of business that we work with would be hard goods businesses, either at the retail or the wholesale level. So they often have idle inventory either in their warehouse or in their storefront, or they've maybe got seasonal goods. They depreciate on a daily basis, and so a lot of times they will move inventory out like that at less than their cost or close to their cost. So by running it through the barter system, we can often protect their margins and get them more value back out of it. So it's just an alternative way to sell it. And then the third types of businesses we deal with, we'll call them space businesses. They're selling time and space. So whether that's a fitness center, a restaurant, hotel, fitness center, things like that, right? So.
Okay, and there's BarterPay Saskatoon, but it's all across the country, correct?
That's correct. Our head office is located in Stony Creek, Ontario, just out of Hamilton, and we have 18 corporately owned or franchised offices across the country, with right from Moncton, New Brunswick in the east to Victoria, BC in the west.
And you can trade across those ones as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We have we can facilitate interregional trade between our offices. Every Monday we have a broker call where all the brokers get onto a conference call and talk about what's available in the different regions and how we can benefit each other.
Okay, so let's take one step back. Just would a trade or a barter kind of go through if I have, we'll say an egg business.
Okay.
You have, say, a fence building business. How would kind of the barter work through that?
Okay.
If that's a good example. If you have
that's a good place to start. So traditionally, barter has always been that one-to-one relationship. So you have eggs, I build fences. I like eggs, you'll need a fence, and so we'll come to an agreement where I will trade you, X number of feet of fence for your eggs, right? And those one-to-one barter relationships work great, providing you and I have that mutual need for what the other person has. There typically has to be fair value involved. Like if I'm building you $5,000 worth of fence and you're giving me back $100 worth of eggs, there's no equity there. Yeah. And then there has to kind of be timing too. We kind of both need, you need the eggs, or pardon me, you need the fence and I need the eggs at roughly the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. If one or two of those things doesn't line up, typical traditional barter and trade doesn't work. So what makes becoming a member of BarterPay that much more advantageous is we can facilitate multi-directional barter. So you're trading within a network of different businesses. So we would take your eggs and we would offer them out to the network. We'll send you new clients that will purchase your eggs for you. When they purchase them, you earn a credit into the BarterPay system. So let's say I'm that fence builder and I buy some of your eggs. Traditionally, you would then have to use that credit back with me to build fence.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need fence, but maybe you need to have, you want to have an accountant do your books for you.
Right.
So then you sell me some eggs, I pay you in credit into the network, and you take that credit and use it to pay an accountant to do your books.
So yeah, what can BarterPay Saskatoon kind of offer that other companies or just that cash delivery, cash exchange kind of offer?
Okay, there's basically two things that we offer our members. Is number one, we can generate a new source of revenue for them and a new customer stream for them. And then secondly, we show them how they can take the revenue or the trade currency that they earned through that new stream of customers, and we show them how they can use that to offset existing cash expenses. So, we talked about an accountant. So rather than having to pull their checkbook out to pay their accounting bill at the end of the year, they could do it through the BarterPay system and pay their accountant bill with trade dollars that they've earned from the new business that we've sent them. So another aspect of what we do is we have our own charitable foundation, and it's called the BarterPay It Forward Foundation. And so it performs two functions. It's number one, it allows our members to donate trade dollars that they've earned to our foundation and get a charitable donation receipt for that. And then secondly, it supports charities and not-for-profits in the markets where we do business by supporting them through a funds matching program.
Okay.
So they can actually save considerable money on things that they're buying for their organizations by buying it through our network.
And then which kind of charities have you already worked with, specifically in Saskatoon or BarterPay as a whole?
In Saskatoon here, we deal with Habitat for Humanity,
Okay.
the Kinsman Foundation, the Lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are really good areas that are working with you guys. So that's really impressive for that charitable foundation. So personal experiences. BarterPay has been around in Saskatoon has been 6 years, you were saying?
6 years this month.
Yeah, 6 years this month. So looking before all of that, kind of what has set you up to put you into this management and leadership position at BarterPay?
I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and my background originally coming out of college was in the electronics industry, and I worked at that for a number of years, and then that kind of parlayed into getting into sales and entrepreneurship. And I worked for a number of years selling online recruitment advertising, and that kind of helped expose me a lot to the local business community and local entrepreneurs within the business community. And when I bought the BarterPay franchise 6 years ago, I was able to circle back to a lot of the businesses that I had already done business with, and they were a good fit for our network. So I've been able to continue doing business with a lot of my same clients, just in a different area.
Right. And so when you started 6 years ago, how have you seen the growth through BarterPay over that 6 years? What are you kind of most proud of in that growth?
Well, we've had consistent growth every year, and I kind of laugh because I say that barter is almost part of the prairie DNA here in Saskatchewan. I mean, we've all done it at some time or another.
Yes.
And what we do is we just bring a more organized format to it, or a more organized system. Talking about clients that have kind of followed me from one thing I've done to the next. And one client I had, when I presented him or showed him what we were doing at BarterPay when we first opened, and he's getting excited as I'm telling him this, and he says, "Oh, I already trade with businesses already." He says, "But I've got to keep that little black book in my pocket. I owe this person this, and they owe me that, and sometimes it's a bookkeeping nightmare, and sometimes it causes hard feelings." And he says, "You're going to look after all that now for me?"
Right.
And I said, "Absolutely." And they're still a client of ours today. So those kind of relationships are great. I have oftentimes people will ask me what do you like best about what you do? And the variety of businesses that we interact with and encounter, and you get to meet such a wide range of people and see such a wide variety of different businesses. It's interesting. No 2 days are the same, right?
Right. And with BarterPay Saskatoon, what would kind of be the ultimate dream or your ultimate goal, kind of looking into the future? What would kind of be?
Oh wow, big picture thinking here. Just continuing to grow the network and continuing to bring value back to our clients. That's what we do, is we bring them that new revenue source and we help them improve their financial bottom line through barter. And nothing makes me feel better about what I'm doing than when a client says, I'm so glad that you approached me with this idea and that we got involved because here's what it's done for my business, or here's what it's done for me personally. And we have a lot of success stories like that. So it's sometimes at the end of the day it's not all about the dollar, but it's that bringing something good back to the community and helping your fellow business owner build their business.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we'll go to this Go segment. Yeah, I mean, the more we talk about this, it's definitely, I don't have, education isn't necessarily in the BarterPay type setting, but, just seeing how you can go with the three areas, overlapping, interconnecting, and where everyone's getting a value out of it that's not just a dollar amount, but we're getting the services that we would use with the dollars anyways.
Yeah.
That's definitely kind of a really, really interesting and creative way of doing all this. So I'm glad you reached out. Really glad you reached out because I'm learning a lot. And again, this is kind of the point of the podcast, is to bring all these different areas together.
Great. Yeah.
All right, so now we are on our Go segment. So we're going to hit Kim with just a couple quick questions and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Awesome. So your first job?
Oh wow, my first job. Well, I grew up in small town Saskatchewan, so probably one of my first jobs was out working for the local farmers picking rocks and roots.
Enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
Well, it was hard work, I would say probably my first paycheck job was, I worked for a few years during high school for the local grocery store, stock boy, delivering groceries, that type of thing. So.
What major influence in your life, or kind of who's someone that got you to here?
Oh, wow. Well, probably obviously my parents. They were always hardworking people and, taught me the value of a dollar. And my dad worked for the same company for over 30 years, 37 years. And so, that stick with it kind of thing, which was good. And, I've had lots of, good teachers and instructors over the years, lots of good business mentors that we've worked with. I've also learned a lot from a lot of my clients over the years. Try and learn something every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially with how many people you get to interact with. It's so many different areas that you get to learn kind of a little bit in each kind of section.
Yeah.
A quote you live by?
Well, I try not to take myself too seriously. And so one that always kind of comes to mind is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Great reference.
Yeah, he says, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Great reference. And last question is, in my downtime, you can find me.
Oh, wow.
Do you get downtime?
I try. Yeah, I like to spend time with my family. My daughters both live here in the city, and so, trying to get together for the family barbecues and stuff quite a bit. Summertime, I like camping, so we'll, head out to the lake and stuff. Wintertime, I do a little bit of curling, so you see me use it curling a couple nights a week kind of thing. So I enjoy softball. I used to coach, and I don't anymore, but I get out and try and watch my daughters play as much as I can, so that's interesting. So try and keep busy. Oh, and I try and spend quite a bit of time with my dog. So
okay,
yeah.
What kind of dog?
She's a big Great Pyrenees Golden Retriever cross. So it's fun to take her out to the dog park. You can have had a bad day at work and a lot of stuff going on, and you go home and your dog still loves you.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. We'll ask kind of where can our viewers learn more about BarterPay?
You can check us out at barterpay.ca. There's lots of information on social media too, Facebook, There's a BarterPay YouTube channel that has a lot of information. There's a really good interview on there right now with one of our members, Konstantin Katsrais, that owns Buy-Sell Restaurant Equipment, and he was actually attending the Restaurants Canada show in Ontario a few months ago, and our company had a booth there, and our president actually interviewed him.
Okay.
So there's about a 7-minute interview on there about how he got involved in BarterPay, and it's interesting. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
check it out.
Check that out on BarterPay's YouTube channel. Again, thanks again to Kim Graff of BarterPay
Thank you
Saskatoon
very
for
much.
joining us today.